Ah, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for game week 3 of the Premier League preview and review.
Good
I'm
evening,
joined by
ladies
Mr.
and
Lancaster.
gentlemen. Hello,
Mr.
hello,
Lancaster.
hello.
Yeah, we're gonna. If you're new here, we're gonna run through game week 2's fixtures from the previous week, and then we'll go on to game week 3. We do have a running tally going at the moment to see whose football knowledge is better. I think we're just exposing how bad or how little we are, no, but.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
It's
Counterproductive.
it's going to be interesting to see how badly we got the results at the end of the season. The table whole thing is just like always a hoo-ha. I think it's just a big, how much can you fuck yourselves over? But like predictions-wise, that's more of a different story.
Yeah, exactly. We'll try and keep it as short as possible and we'll just get straight into this. Do you want to go through last week's fixtures, Mr. Lancaster?
Yep, so straight off the bat, we have the Friday night game, which was it a Friday night game? I believe it was.
Chelsea
Friday night game, Chelsea versus Luton. Surprisingly enough, even though they've been shocking so far this season, I picked Chelsea, so I get a point there.
I also.
Fully enough, looking at your kit, I'm assuming that you'll pick Chelsea to beat Luton.
No, I actually went for Luton. No, I went for Chelsea. They look more themselves. I still think that they're still disjointed, and that's going to obviously come with time. Hope. But yeah, it was a pretty convincing win against a team that they really should be beating, and that is Chelsea's first win at Stamford Bridge since March, which is quite disgraceful.
The big thing for Chelsea now is you've brought you've brought 1/3 of the world's players. You've bought more players than Saudi Arabia has lately, and that's saying something. They need time to gel. You can't just slot them all in and we're going to work. So that's just one thing for Chelsea.
I will say, Raheem Sterling, special shout out, has got like a new lease on life under Pochettino. He looks like the player people claimed he was. I still don't think he's that good, but he's playing amazing at the moment. Enzo Fernandez is still world class as always. I know Mr. Lancaster disagrees.
No.
Caicedo still looks rusty, but he's getting up to speed. And there's another player I wanted to shout out, and I can't remember who it was.
Shocking.
Jackson.
Jackson.
Jackson played really well, and he has the hallmarks of a really good striker. He just needs to keep it up.
Chelsea have never had a hallmark of ruining good strikers. Swiftly moving on to the the early game on Saturday, which was Spurs Bournemouth or Bournemouth Spurs. I went Spurs.
And
we both got a point. Let me just pull up the stats really quick.
I was just gonna say I don't like Spurs, obviously, but like they're a lot more interesting to watch now. Like they're
under I can never pronounce it.
Go on. No, have a go.
I always want to say Petroglou.
Yeah, like the Fulham player.
Yeah, I don't know why. Postecoglou. I'm not far off, am I?
Angie Postecoglou, or just Angie.
I'm not far off.
We'll go with Angie from here on out.
Bournemouth. I mean, like what I said last week's episode, Max Aarons and Tyler Adams. Not Max Aarons. Max Aarons and Tyler Adams. We'll see you next year, boys. You fucking snakes. Swiftly moving on.
I was just going to say, Maddison is such a good player.
Yeah,
it's a shame he's in that team.
Both me and Lou have said that Maddison is such a good player. Why he ever went to Spurs and not a better team, I'll never know. But I mean, Spurs haters.
We are finally seeing the best out of Basuma now, though, which is quite good because he was a really good player at Brighton, and then, like every player from Brighton, he seems to have just fallen off a cliff since leaving. But he seems again to have a new lease on life, and it'll be interesting if they can keep it up. But at the moment, they look like the best way to describe it is the Spurs team under Harry Redknapp, where they just go blow for blow with you, and it's always going to be like an interesting, like 5-3, 4-2 type of game.
For Spurs, it's going to be interesting to see who they've replaced Kane with, because that three they have behind Richarlison is immense free, and we're playing very well so far. And then obviously you've got fucking Richarlison up front, just giving you a fucking 6.6 every game. It's just fucking ridiculous. Anyway, I've never rated him, never liked him when they were at Everton, which was shocking, to be honest, because we were fighting for a relegation battle with them. But I did see that they were going to sign someone, and I can't remember who it was, but I'm sure it was from like a fucking lower league. or a lower team or something. But I can't.
It's Brennan Johnson from Nottingham
Brennan
Forest.
Johnson, yeah, that's the one. Which would be a weird signing. Yeah, it'd be a weird signing, but hey, can't get any worse. If you want Bamford, anyone from Spurs is watching this. Daniel Levy, someone pass this on to him. Bamford, it's a bargain at 20 million. So, I mean, if you want
Lank will drive him down there.
Yeah, I'll drive him down personally. I'll deliver him straight to, is it Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, yeah.
If you wanna chuck in like Son or Kulusevski as a player swap, we'll just do 10 million. Anyway, swiftly moving on. Next match, where have we? I've got Arsenal. Who were it? Arsenal Fulham, which has annoyed me because I lost a point. I picked Arsenal, and it was an interesting draw by the sounds of it. Arsenal went down early on to an ex-Scum player. When I say early on, immediately.
First minute,
immediately. And then the second, no else happened in that first half, and then the second half, just everything hit the fan. Both managers got bookings, sending offs, goals. Well, it's an interesting game.
Arsenal Fulham was a weird one. I will say that Paulinho is a fantastic player, and I'm surprised the bigger team hasn't come in for him.
I have said that. He scored a worldie against us when we played him in FA Cup. Looking at the stats, wow, Arsenal battered them.
They did, but they were down to 10 men for God knows how long.
Wow. He got sent
20-30 minutes?
No, he got sent off in the 83rd minute.
I don't know. I did watch this game, kind of. It was a 3 o'clock game, so I didn't watch it. Jimenez's overhead kick was a really good effort. I'm just trying to remember what happened. Saka scored a penalty. I think it was... I just don't know what Teddy is doing in that situation, but by the by. Do you think this is the first sign of cracks from Arsenal?
No, way too early. Even if it is a first sign of a crack, this early on, it don't matter. You've still got plenty of time to make up for it.
My thing is they played. The Arsenal have had a very slow start to the season.
3 games in.
I know, but they were very lucky to. They're not playing well, put it that way. They were very lucky to come away with a win from Palace. But I thought that showed championship mentality. This was the opposite of that. They give away stupid points, and when you're going toe to toe with Man City, which we'll get onto later, and their mentality, you can't be doing that if you're going to challenge.
No. Yeah, I do get where you're coming from, but for me, it is too early to even say, they've bottled the league already, because I hate that sort of shit when it's. But yeah.
And to all the Arsenal fans who said they'd bought Chelsea's best player, I just want to say thank you for buying.
Please. When we say Chelsea's best player, which one of the two are we talking about?
Kai Havertz.
Oh, God, we'll get onto the other I was hoping you were going to say Jorginho, because then I could have sort of understood that. But Kai Havertz.
Well, they did say both. They said Jorginho, and they said Kai Havertz.
Jorginho I can sort of understand to a little bit extent, because I like him as a player, but Kai Havertz is...
Kai Havertz annoys me because
no one knows what Kai Havertz is. Yeah, but no one knows what he is anymore.
He's a shadow of himself from when he was at Leverkusen.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
The annoying thing is you can see the talent, but the attitude is just. He seems like he just wants to fight people rather than play. And he was so negative in this game. He just kept passing back. There was that one pass. Did you see it where they passed into him and he had 30 yards of just open ground, and he tried to pass it straight back to the player and misplaced the pass and went straight to a Fulham. It's just indicative of just the career decline that he's had. Yeah. He's failing upwards.
Yeah. At the same time, if he's passing it back, he's clearly not had a shout that he can turn and go. So that comes down to communication.
Yeah.
So points dropped. Go on.
Did you see the fucking formation that he put out? He was playing Thomas Partey at right back.
I'm looking at it now. Thomas Partey's right back, Havertz, Rice, and Odegaard.
And Rice. Yeah, it's just
and then you've got Saka, Trossard, and Martinelli.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what he was doing, to be honest.
To me, I don't know how you fit. I don't know how you fit them all in. Like, but Odegaard needs to be behind the striker. 100%.
This is what I'm saying. The cracks are starting to appear where he's bought these players and he doesn't know how to play them.
We're 3 matches in. Any other manager right now will be getting, he's still experimenting, blah, 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 which he is. He's experimenting. Yes, I know he should know.
Doing it in the season.
He should know. He should know where they're going and where they're playing and stuff like that. But come December, January, February, March time, if he's still doing experimentations like this and it's not forced by injuries or suspensions, then fair enough, yeah, I can say it. But it's 3 games in. I'm not a massive Arsenal lover. I like the fact that after last season, Arteta's finally getting some praise because for so long, deluded Arsenal fans were calling for his head, even though he's built one of the best young teams in the league. But did overperform last season. Didn't arguably overperform.
For the sum of the parts, they overperformed so much. Like it was weird though, because he went from overrated when he won the FA Cup to like criminally underrated to now he's like, I guess fairly rated, but like borderline overrated because it's like
I think people if he drops another couple of points in the next 4 or 5 matches, people will start jumping on him, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But Arsenal dropping points early on. Did you go Arsenal?
Yeah.
Both of us, neither of us got a point there. Next game that I've got on my list is Brentford Palace. I went for draw, so I got a point there.
I went for Brentford.
I can see why you went for Brentford, but hey, Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, it was all Brentford, and then Palace just like squeaked one.
The stats don't look overly empowering. Maybe first half. Again, I've not watched any of these games because I just don't have the time to watch football anymore, which is awful to say. There's nothing other than substitutions and goals on the summaries page, so it looks like an exciting sort of match.
It was never going to be exciting. It's a London derby, though. But
that's another point for me, and one not for Lewbcon.
Ahead.
Yep. Next one I've got on my list is Everton Wolves.
This one
fucking knobhead. Yes.
I don't know. Looking back on it, I don't know what I think I even said I don't know what possessed me to pick Everton, and I come back to that and say, what the fuck possessed me to pick Everton? Because they are shambolic. And
I was thinking same. Like when I looked at the scores and I was running through the list to like decide which teams or like to tick off or cross, but I got a point or not, and I looked at it and I went Everton.
Yeah,
why the fuck have I picked Everton?
I double ticked. I was like, why? I mean, looking back, it was probably like home advantage. They played well in their first game against Fulham.
I think that's what it was. I think it was a home advantage and the fact that Wolves are blunt.
By Villa.
Yeah, and they're so blunt. But I mean, that went against both of us here because
it was. That was such a. If you watch that game, it was fucking. Generally, them two teams are going to struggle this season. Both of them, that. I mean, it was what was it? 87th minute they scored. It was last minute job, and it was.
87th minute.
And Everton are already getting booed off the pitch 3 games in, and I don't see Dyche. I rate Dyche, but he's in trouble right now. He really is.
Right, this whole thing every single time though. You sack Sean Dyche. Who else is there that's going to come in that's better than Sean Dyche?
Roy Hodgson. Mark Hughes is probably still out there. Ardew.
Sol Campbell.
Steve Bruce.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
You know what?
Joey Barton.
Mate, if you're going down, just give it a Ferguson anywhere. Like thingy.
Giggs it till end of the season. So, neither of us got a point there. Neither of us know what possessed us to pick Everton, but we did.
Moving
on. Next one that I've got on my list is Scum. Where are Scum?
Nottingham Forest, Man United.
Yeah, Scum. Oh, right. I got so excited. I got a little chub on when I saw that Scum were down 2 goals in 4 minutes.
7 minutes.
I'm not gonna lie, I got a little chub on, but at the same time, I was like, "Well, this is Scum. They're at home. It's gonna be a weird decision. We're gonna win the game." And someone gets sent off for what is quoted on Flash Scores as tripping. Oh, that was a straight red. That was a straight red.
I don't remember the red card.
I don't know about it. 2-0 down in 4 minutes. Spurs fans must have been joyous after that second Forest goal. Obviously, as we see, Bruno Fernandes scored a penalty. Hey ho! Penalty at Old Trafford. Oh, what a shock! Absolute fucking disgrace.
From what I remember, this one was a bit. Forest this game was super open. Forest had chances, and it was entertaining. Like Man United are a mess right now. Like everyone was blaming Mount, and he has been shit. But like, they've got bigger issues than that. Like Varane went off injured as well, which that's a massive blow.
Stats wise, it does heavily lean towards Scum, even first and second half.
I think the penalty was very soft. I wouldn't have given it.
Shock. So what you're saying is Scum got a very soft penalty at Old Trafford. Need we say more? I just think Rashford was he was looking for it, to be honest.
Obviously
he was. He's a Scum player at fucking Old Trafford. But yeah.
Did you see Casemiro's miss as well?
No. I haven't seen all over this weekend.
Mate, they fucking crossed their back post. He headed it, like someone headed it back across the goal. Literally about 4 yards out, open goal. He put it like wide. Like I just the red card was a bit suspect. They were both just running for the ball.
Shockingly. Yeah, here we go again.
Bruno Fernandes felt like a whisper on him, and he went down.
Yeah,
it probably, arguably was, but I think he could have given him a but anyway.
Yeah.
Man United were very lucky to win this. I think a draw was probably the deserved score, but yeah.
But we're playing Old Trafford, so what fucking else do you expect? Dirty bastards. I went Scum anyway. I'm assuming you did, Lou.
I did.
Yep, so we both got a point there. Next on the list is Brighton West Ham.
I did not see coming.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Who saw this coming? The thing is, you can't even say, well, looking at the stats, you can very much say that it's a smash and grab, but at the same time, West Ham went in front early-ish on and built upon that coming out in the second half, and Brighton just got a meaningless consolation goal.
Can I just say, James Ward-Prowse is in the conversation for signing of the season already.
You think?
I mean, he's got.
I haven't seen all of it, so I can't.
What, is it 2 goals and an assist in his opening 2 games? Something like that. Is it 1 or 2 he got a year?
One goal, 2 assists.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 goal, 2 assists because the other games he won in squad.
Yeah. Yeah, he played really well. West Ham they look like the team from the season before last. I think last season the Europa Conference League took out of them, and they could be a team you don't want to play against this season.
It's the thing. The back line is not anything to write home about, but it's solid on the day. And then you look at people like you've still got Paqueta and especially Jared Bowen, who just seems to keep going from strength to strength. And I so wish we'd have signed him at one point, but hey ho.
Antonio's
Antonio's another one. Yeah, it's another one of those players that are just like, you look at him and you go, how does he score goals as much as he does? But he does, so you can't knock him. And against Brighton as well, like Brighton are a very good team. So all props.
I thought they were going to carry on the momentum. It just it wasn't meant to be, and I just guess you get a bit carried away and forget they are Brighton at the end of the day. Like,
yeah, I mean that's not a knock on them. It's they're very much overachieved and they're very much being run in the correct way that they should be these days.
They had these results last year. Like, these are not like anomalies. These are common occurrences. They can beat anybody on their day, but they can also lose to anybody. That's just who Brighton are.
Yeah.
And I still didn't see this one coming though. It was just weird.
I had it down as a draw, so I didn't have obviously Brighton running away over, but I had it as a draw, so that's still a note for me. What did you have it as? Brighton win?
I had it as Brighton win. Yeah.
Brighton win. Yeah.
I said 3-1 though.
I'm not giving you a fucking point for it. Next up is the Villa game, Burnley Villa, and for no one's surprise, Villa looked very well drilled in this game. Very well drilled. I can't knock like Burnley. They put up an effort. I think you said it in the original predictions video. They romped for league last year, but it's always a big step up for every team that goes from Championship to Premier League.
Especially when they play the way they do, where they try to dominate the ball. There's just so many better teams that do it in the Premier League.
Yeah. I mean, you're coming up against a world, not to blow the Premier League trumpet, but you're coming up against the world's best. It's like I said, a massive step up.
Yeah. They've just been a bit of a damp squid to me, Burnley. They've had they've had flashes, but they've not really done much. I know they've only played is it 2 games now? Was it Burnley?
Two games, yeah. So
yeah, Burnley.
I mean, they've played against Villa and City, so
yeah, they're not easy games.
No, but not. That's what I was gonna say. But not easy games. So,
but there's not that many easy games in the Premier League.
No. This was another thing I was thinking when it comes to Luton as well. Just touching back on them, they've not had an easy start to the season, opponents wise. I can't see them being a Derby-esque team where they finished with 11 points?
I think it was 11.
Were it less than that? I want to say 11.
It was 1 win. I can't remember.
I can't. But again, if anyone said that Luton would get 11 points in Premier League, I think some fans might bite their hand off of that. It is what it is. Burnley, I think will be all right. It's tough start.
It should be.
Tough start to the season for them. I can't remember where I put them in my thing. I'm sure they didn't get relegated in my list.
They weren't in the bottom 3 now.
Yeah. Moving swiftly on to the penultimate game of week 3, which was the City game. Man City away at Sheffield United. And 2 shocks here. Erling Haaland missed a penalty, and Sheffield United scored a goal against Man City.
You know what?
Take that how you will.
As much as City dominated this game, it didn't look like
my God, they dominated this game.
They dominated the game.
The first half, Sheffield United had 17% possession and didn't register a single shot.
Man City didn't look great, to be honest. They really didn't.
Man City's XG was 3.98. Oh my God!
The way I look at it was literally like Sheffield United just camped in their box. And
pretty much. Crosses,
and it was like
part to bus sort of thing.
Yeah, you could see on Haaland's face when he scored the goal. He was relieved. He was very much relieved, and they were very lucky to get the win, because when they gave away that stupid fucking goal, Kyle Walker, Man City scored straight after that. But if they couldn't have scored again, I reckon they would have struggled to they didn't instantly reply. It would have been a struggle to get back into it.
Yeah, but Kyle Walker is a Sheffield United lad, so I mean,
he's doing
corruption. Yeah, corruption. I think everyone saw this coming, to be honest. Well, I saw a City win coming. Maybe not as close as it potentially was. Yeah, not the scoreline.
But they marched on as the only team with a 100% record.
Yeah. Sheffield United fans, I know you got to Premier League and you might like him, but we've had Paul Eckenbottom.
They've sold their 2 best players and they've not bought anybody. Yeah. They were already, and they barely went up last year.
They started laughing at us. They started laughing at us because someone came up with a rumour that we were trying to sign Ollie McBurney, which had never happened because he hates Leeds.
And
then everyone started laughing because Sheffield United turned it down, and I'm like, who's gonna have the last laugh?
Thank God for that.
We've gone from Bamford to McBurney. How could you get any worse than that? But yeah, I had City win. I'm assuming you did as well, though.
Yeah.
And the final game of game week 3, which has not long since finished, was Newcastle Liverpool.
I watched this game and just what was that game?
Well, when I looked at the fixture and I actually picked Newcastle. I did an Everton thing and think, why did I pick Newcastle? No disrespect to Newcastle, but I'm like, why?
They should have won that game, though.
I know. I'm looking at the stats as well, especially second half. It actually destroyed them.
Literally, the game kicked off. Trent got a fucking stupid yellow card for throwing the ball away. 10 seconds later, he makes a foul. He should have gone off for it. The referee balled it a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that on thingy.
I will say everyone's saying he bottled it. He shouldn't have booked him for throwing the ball away. Like, it was a foul.
Especially that early on.
By the by,
yeah.
I hate this new rule of booking players because it's like you either book them for time wasting or you add the time on. You don't do both because then you get like 10, 20 minutes of added time. It just fucking ruins it.
The whole adding time on, I get, right? But unless it's towards the back end of a game, how can you book someone for time wasting in the 6th minute?
Yeah, it's fucking.
If it's the 86th minute, then yeah, fair enough. I can understand that, but it's just pointless. Just add it on.
Yeah, have you seen how many yellow cards there's been this season for time wasting?
Then like,
you know it's just.
Go on.
I was just gonna say it's getting out of hand now. It's looking like an FA way of making money.
Yeah, it's like you said. Him booking him that early on for something stupid has only put the referee under a bigger spotlight when an eventual foul has arisen. So, but early on, add the time on. Last 10 minutes of added in normal time.
Even second half.
And I won't even say second half. I hate time wasting and stuff like that. But up until about the last 10 minutes, you don't need to start booking anyone for wasting time. Just add the time on, and then obviously later on in the game, start booking.
But the thing is, he got fouled. He didn't give the foul. He fell. He was on the floor off the pitch, and then he threw the ball back onto the pitch. And then by the time he got up, the ball was in position anyway. So by the time he'd gotten up, it was just daft. And then moving on, Van Dijk got sent off. I don't care what Jamie Carragher's got to say. It was a red card. I don't know how. I know he's got his like red tinted glasses with his Liverpool kit on, but like how he didn't see that was a red card and still insisted it wasn't a red card, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Like, especially the angle he's coming from. Like he's arguing that it wasn't a. It wasn't a. Like he was through on goal, and it was. He didn't even attempt to get the ball. He just went through the back of him. Like
It's fucking it's stupid.
So Liverpool were very, very much on the ropes from the start. Newcastle battered them and got the goal. How they didn't get a second one, I'll never know. Like Almiron had about 7 chances to put the game to bed, and he just didn't. He hit the post, I know, but. And then Darwin Núñez, who I tipped for second place in the Golden Boot, came on and snatch and grab is the only way I can say this. It was a robbery.
I think one thing to come out of this is that Newcastle. How can I put this?
They're still not quite there.
No, they need to do some maturing, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's just like you can tell there's something there, and it's gonna come, but it's not at that point yet. Like you're bossing a Liverpool side who were technically one of the best teams in the league a couple of years ago, but I think there's no. This season's a free hit for Newcastle for me because they're in Champions League, so I think that's going to be a massive thing for a lot of fans. They still need to get Champions League football next season. Excuse me. So the league is still their main priority, but I think there'll be a lot of rose-tinted glasses because of the Champions League this season.
I was going to say, I think they could do damage in the Champions League. I don't think the winner is by the way, but like. They could do damage. They'll take a few scalps along the way.
Mm-hmm. They won't go down without a swing. They'll go down swinging, definitely.
I know, they'll give anyone a game. Especially the type of football they play. It's very, very like dominant, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. So, out of the, what were there, 10 games this
10 games this
week, I got 2, 4, 6. I got 6 out of 10.
I got 5.
And if you're keeping tally, last week was a double rollover, so I am now in the lead, 2-1. I don't know why I put 2 up on each side, but yeah, 2-1 to me.
It's looking at the future.
It's game week 3. I'm getting excited. The table currently sits as thus. First City, unbeaten, as
only 100% team.
As Lewbcon says, only conceded 1 goal. So far in the 3 games. Then a bit of a mismatch top 5. Yeah. City, West Ham, Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal. And if we're going to what is supposedly the European spots, Brighton and Villa. Bottom 3, we have Everton bottom. Luton and Burnley. Sheffield United also the only other team yet to pick a point.
I think it's starting to shape up in terms of like roughly where people will finish. Not
three games in. Three games in.
Like,
stop.
We are starting to like separate the relegation teams from the top teams.
I mean, to be honest, if it ends now, Chelsea have had a better season than they did last. So, would you take that? After spending £6,000 billion on new players,
I'd take fucking getting like 17th and avoiding relegation. Just get Lukaku off the books. Just send him to Roma, get it done, and get Cucurella to Man United. That's another one. Just get them both gone.
Right, okay, and swiftly moving on because this video is getting a bit longer than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yes, so we're going to go for game week 4's fixtures that are all played across the first, second, and third. Starting with the Friday night game, 8 o'clock kickoff, which is Luton or West Ham.
I'm going to go 2-0 West Ham.
West Ham win for myself.
I will say about this one, just a note, this is Luton's first game at home back in the big site.
That's a good point.
In their Tin Pot Stadium, as you said.
Yep, Tin Pot Stadium. I mean, it is. You got to delay you got to fucking cancel a game because you can't play about it.
So did Spurs, but
another Tin Pot team. Moving on to the early kickoff, 12:30 on the Saturday. We have Sheffield United, Everton. The battle of mediocrity.
That sounds like genuine hell. Like that sounds like torture. Like having to just subject someone to watch that fucking game. Like Jesus Christ. I'm gonna go 1-0 Sheffield United.
I'd rather watch SPL.
I think Everton are actually dire. Like 1-0 to the Blades.
I've got my prejudice against Sheffield United. Not only is it Sheffield United and I'm a Leeds fan, but Paul Heckingbottom. So I'm going Everton win.
First divide.
Yeah.
The battlegrounds have been drawn.
Yeah. The first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs in this list is Brentford, Bournemouth.
I don't know. I'm a bit thrown off with Brentford after they failed to beat Palace. But Bournemouth are just shocking. Clip that. But
is that like the clip when you said Dominic? Yeah. We've got Dominic Solanke up front and they scored the next game week.
And still got beat though. I'm gonna go 2-1 Brentford.
I'm having a Brentford win also. Moving on, the next game on the list is Burnley Spurs, which could be an interesting one.
It's a hard start for Burnley, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it's an interesting one, but I don't know why. Burnley at home, Spurs away, bit of a travel, bit of distance.
I'm just going to out there and go 4-3 to Spurs. Stupidly high scoreline. 4-3.
See, the thing is, I want to go ballsy and say something about Burnley, but at the same time, I also want to win this bet. So, I am going Spurs. I've got to go Spurs, even with fucking Richarlison up front. Next up, one close to your heart, Mr. Lewbcon, Chelsea Forest.
2-0 to Chelsea.
I so want to go ballsy. I feel like it'd pay off and all. But
Chelsea lost to Forest last year, but who didn't Chelsea lose to?
Yeah, you lost 3-0 to Leeds as well. That's disgusting. Good times.
I remember that.
I remember that because I was at that game. I'm going Chelsea as well. I would like to go ballsy against Forest for Forest, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Next up, last of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday is Man City Fulham.
A City win. I'm gonna go 2-0 Man City. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm going City as well. I feel like Pep will not be happy at what happened
if he's there.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. It's is it this one? Is this the first week he's been off?
Yeah, this is the first.
Interesting. That might be why it is. But I still reckon Pep will be on fucking WhatsApp and giving them all a bollocking. So I think they'll come back with a vengeance.
Beyond the blower.
Yeah, and then the late game on Saturday, 5:30 kickoff is Brighton Newcastle. That's a spicy one.
Newcastle will be pissed off with the result, and Brighton is likewise. So That's a different.
Yeah, I know.
First. I don't even
I'm
know
going Newcastle. I want to go draw, but I'm going Newcastle.
I'll go 1-1. I'll go 1-1.
1-1. Okay, we've got a few discrepancies between myself and Lou. Then we've got 2 o'clock games on the Sunday, starting off with Palace Wolves. Fuck me, what an exciting game.
I'm going to go 0-0 because they're both shit.
Yeah, I'm going to draw. I don't want to say ball draw. I want to say score draw, but I'm just going to draw. Second 2 o'clock kickoff is Liverpool Villa, which is another one that's going to be a bit spicy.
If it was at Villa, I'd go Villa win. Because it's at Anfield, I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool.
I'm going Villa. Don't know why. I'm going Villa. I'm going Villa and Coutinho hat-trick. I'm kidding. Kidding.
My fault was Villa first, but just being Anfield, I just can't see it.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from there. And then to close off the Sunday, a 4:30 kickoff, one of the greatest rivalries in Premier League history. Arsenal.
Maybe not so much now.
Maybe not so much now, but Arsenal scum. And the thing is, you can say it's not so much now. I am still a bit confused who to pick. Even though it is at Arsenal in London.
Arsenal are a better team, but Man United
obviously
in these games. Man United, for some reason. I don't rate Rashford, but he's finally figured out that he can't play straight, like up front. So there is that.
Thank God someone has. This one for me,
I really don't know.
I know. I shot Lou down on the whole falling apart thing for Arsenal. This one for me is a huge game for Arsenal. Can they sort of divide themselves from what is?
Was it a blip or was it things to come?
Can they divide themselves from what is potentially the best of the rest? Scum, obviously a decent team, it pains me to say, but they've got all the money in the world to spend. They can still attract whoever they want. Arsenal, a young side. It's I'm going Arsenal, but I think it's going to be a pivotal game of this season, even this early on for Scum. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see Man United have signed Amrabat at this point as well, because I think he could be a really good player for them. I don't know. I generally don't know because it's at Arsenal, but
yeah, that's what I mean. It's an old extension. It's an extension to the rival.
I think Man United will win, but I'm going to go 2-2 draw.
Interesting. I can't blame you for going 2-2 draw.
Generally, this one's a coin toss. It could go anywhere.
Coin toss. Got him.
It's been a long day. It's been a very
day. That's our prediction. That's our roundup of game week 3 and our look ahead, our predictions for game week 4. If you're not interested in Leeds United, thank you for watching the video. I'm going to have a 5-minute conversation on Leeds United. Where to start here? Where to start? For me, once again, we are a pushover of a club. We have got 2 players refusing to play, and they both get named in the starting lineup. I feel they got named in the starting lineup, so they didn't come on as a sub and get booed. Both of them scored. Fair enough. It's almost like they're trying to make the best of a bad situation and highlight their attributes for January. Because I can guarantee now, any Leeds fan out there, we are going to have these same conversations in January about Sinisterra and Nonto wanting to leave and potentially once again refusing to play. If any player, I don't give a fuck if it's Messi or Mbappe, if you refuse to play, you should never ever wear that team shirt again. It's a fucking disgrace. And any Leeds fan who chanted their name when they scored is a fucking fraud. Sinisterra's goal was well taken. He's obviously too good for the Championship, hence why he was looking for a move. The whole Sam Byram coming on, getting subbed for Cody Drama, and then Cody Drama coming off for Shaq. Don't really know what's going to happen to Cody Jama. I do like him. He helped Luton last season. Was it Luton? I believe it was Luton. He helped them get promoted last season, so obviously he's good enough. Pyro, or Piro, however you pronounce his name, he took his goal great. I liked how him and Rutter played off as like a two up front, which was interesting to see because it's a long time since I've seen two, I wouldn't say a 4-4-2, but it's a long time since I've seen two up front. Rutter, I'm elated for him, but he's finally got a goal. Apart from the two snakes scoring, for me, it was a game that we somehow won. We did not look great. The fact that it's 4-3
not great.
It's not great. We've scored goals, which is great because what you want to see, but at the same time, you're conceding goals. Is it a one-off? We'll see going forward.
I was just going to say, as somebody who watched, I caught a little bit of it, and then I watched the highlights afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Ayling's been a fantastic servant for the club, but do you not think he's like coming to the end now?
I love him. I love him. He is a fantastic servant for the club. He cannot go both ways. If he was an attacking fullback, which he is great to see going forward. But then you always get exposed, and I've said this since the Bielsa days, you always get exposed at fullback. It's great when you've got Alioski, who runs 90 minutes. But when, I'm not saying Bill don't run 90 minutes, but when you're getting caught out in the same situations over and over again, it's frustrating. I love him to bits. For me, I've always said, my back line, my back four, if it is a back four, should be a flat back four. The wing backs should not go anywhere near past halfway line. I don't care about numerical overloads or whatever. I know it's a hip thing to do these days, but you get exposed so much defensively, and someone has to look at that and go, right, that's where we're getting exposed. It's happened so much. I'm not saying it's one of the reasons we got relegated because we were a disgraceful team in Premier League and we deserve to get relegated, but it's something that needs looking into. What was it?
I was just going to say, as somebody who keeps tabs on the Championship quite a lot, and I obviously kept tabs on it last year, what is the situation with Josh Gelhardt? Because I know he was... Joe Gelhardt, sorry. I've heard a lot of Leeds fans bigging him up, but I remember when he went on loan to Sunderland last year, I know he's played out of position, but I was expecting him to pull up trees, and he really didn't do much there, and he's not really done much this season either.
If any of my friends watch this, they will piss themselves the fact that you just asked that question, because I love Joffy. That's Gellhardt's nickname. I want him to succeed in so many ways. He come up clutch for us so many times. Not last season, the season before. Brighton game, Wolves game comes to mind. He can't play up front by himself, and I'm not knocking him for that. He's a small lad. He's very stocky and well built. He
reminds me of Carlos Tevez from when I've seen him. Like,
well, a lot of because he's a scouser. A lot of people have drawn the comparisons to Wayne Rooney. A little bit, I understand that. I don't think he's got the pace to play up front by himself. For me, I've always said that he was going to be best off playing up front and getting that chance. But now that I've seen it more firsthand, especially when we played. Who do we play opening day? Cardiff. I watched him against Cardiff. He would drop him very deep to get the ball. So for me, I think he's now moved into somewhat of a natural number 10 role, which is awkward now that we've got the two snakes back. Then we've got Rutter and Piro. For me, I think he'd play a great number 10. There's a lad at work who is a Sunderland fan. When Sunderland got him on loan last season, they were planning on playing two up front, and then their main striker got injured. So Joffrey had to play up front by himself, which was always going to highlight his weaknesses. He can hold the ball up. I don't think he's over 6 foot, so he's not someone you can lump the ball up to and expect to win the ball. If you play it into his feet, he can. For me,
That and Sunderland are shit, but
I mean, last season they were fucking amazing to watch, and that's coming from a Leeds fan. That really hurts to say that.
they know, like Tony Mulberry's teams are always notorious for just bottling it, and they weren't great.
Yeah, but yeah, I've got high hopes for Joffrey still. Position-wise, that's the main thing. So Ipswich game, meh. It's nice to get some points, to get a win on board. I still think it was a bit of a lackluster game for ourselves. We got win, lose, draw, and we currently sit, hang on a second, I think it was like 12th, 13th. Yeah, 13th in the table. 7 goals for, 7 goals against. I feel like we're going for a very old school Leeds United season where we just have 0 goal difference and don't do a lot. To be honest, it hurts me to say, but I called it when we first went down. I did say that I think we're going to be a mid-table team. That was prior to the arrival of Pirro. I'm not lumping it all on him. There is still a lot of dead wood to get out of the club. Just having a quick look at the Twitter sphere, signings-wise, Fabrizio Romano has given the pretty much nod of approval for Glenn Kamara from Rangers. Negotiations now at the final stages with the Rangers. Deal expected to be completed next week. Player already accepted. So that's summit. Everyone's been after Glenn Kamara for a while. He is not someone that I can really say that I've seen too much of. Someone else is also mentioning Tanaka. The name rings a bell, but I'm not sure. Panstill. I believe he's a winger from Brighton. We're on about getting on loan. So I don't know. Apart from the Glenn Kamara one, nothing else. Oh, Tanaka is the lad from Fortuna Dusseldorf. But apart from the Glenn Kamara one, there's nothing really solid yet. So I don't want to put my 2 cents on anyone straight away. But I don't know. I'm being the pessimistic Leeds fan that I have been for the past couple of seasons. Next up, we have got where are we? Salford in the cup on Tuesday, followed by Chef Wednesday at home on Saturday the 2nd of September.
They're bottom, aren't they?
Chef Wednesday. Chef Wednesday is fucking dire at the minute.
Yeah.
I won't say Salford's a rivalry, but it's over on the red side of the rose. So yeah, so 2 rivalries coming up there. Yeah, pessimistic Leeds fan. Take it 1 game at a time, and we'll see where we sit. And on that bombshell, I have finished my rant. Have you got anything else to add, Mr. Lewbcon?
I just wanted to add a little note on Middlesbrough. They've had an awful start to the season, and I mean, generally awful. Latte Laff looks like a good striker. That Sammy Dieng they got from QPR. I don't know why they thought a keeper who barely stayed in the division would be a good idea. And he somehow managed to be worse than Zach Steffen, in my opinion. Like, it's just... They need to back Carrick, they won't back him, and I can see him getting sacked very soon. Because, yeah, they just... The thing is, they played well, like fairly decently against West Brom, but they were just so open and just so many individual mistakes. It's unreal. Like Isaiah Jones, I would have sold him personally. He's just not there. Yeah, they just look dysfunctional right now, and it's not looking great for them. I know it's very early in the season, but it's not looking good. And then
it's bad to think what they did last season as well. After what they did last season,
yeah, they got like, what was it, 83 goals and didn't go up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Where the war before Carrick turned up, and then like where the war
9 goals. Like you can't be doing that. Like,
no,
I don't care what division you're in. You don't concede 9 goals in 4 games. It's just ridiculous. They've got a fairly decent fixture with Bolton in the cup. Not quite sure if I want them to go through because it's a situation of last year where they got knocked out of the cups early on, and it propelled them on because they could just focus solely on the league.
For me, that's one for Leeds. If we lose to Salford, I couldn't really care less. Yeah, it is scum related, but concentrate on league. That's all we care about now.
Exactly. You just got to do that. Like you ain't gonna win it realistically.
Yeah.
So like,
So
don't try.
Yeah, I'm not overly fussed about going far in FA Cup. FA Cup's prestigious for me. I love the FA Cup, but for me, stick your youngsters out, give them a go because I don't really care about the cups. Just get me back to the promised land because I hate being part of this poverty football shit.
And then Middlesbrough play Blackburn. That's going to be a difficult game. It's like a notorious derby from when obviously Middlesbrough got relegated from the Blackburn game. Fuck the FA for that. Generally, fuck the FA in general, but fuck the FA for deducting the points from that game. And yeah, Middlesbrough, they're floundering at the moment, and they need to get back on track, and they need to get back on track soon because I think Leicester and Southampton have like earmarked themselves as the standout teams this season, and I think it's going to be a race for the playoffs for everybody else.
It's still very early in the season, but I can see where you've come from because it's only a couple of extra games now until pressure really starts to build on X amount of managers.
Put it this way, you're 5 points off the pace already.
I'm not bothered about points wise. For me, I'm not right bothered. I don't care. You again, look at what you did last season, or look at what Borough did last season. They
fell short because of the bad start. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's just part and parcel, isn't it? It is what it is. And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, this video is very, very long, and I do apologise for it. But you know, if that's something you like, we can make them longer because me and Lou could sit here and talk for hours about this sort of shit. If it is a bit too long, as I saw from Lou's last video, he timestamped it all. I aren't timestamping it because that lets you have a little cheat code, so watch through it all. That's our game week predictions for game week 4. A little rundown on the championship, and there's not a lot else to add apart from
next time.
Yeah,
Thank
next.
you for the support.
Yeah, when will it be? Because there's an international break coming up after next week, so it might be a while. I aren't doing international football because it's a fucking con.
I'm not going to do it, but we can touch on it if anything interesting happens and then follow it.
No, England could get beat 7,000-0 and I couldn't give a fucking flying toss. Don't care. I know that bombshell.
Is there any opinions on the Spanish FA before we call it for controversy? Wise?
And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, I've got my own opinions. I will get cancelled. I hope you enjoy the rest of however long it is before we see you. And yes, peace.
Adios.